everyone, welcome. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to continue books. You look so scruffy. So in today's video, I'm going to continue series that I'm in the middle of. Let's just see how many series I'm in the middle of. I actually don't think it's too bad. I'm currently in the middle of the Last Hour series by Cassandra Clare. I just have the last book left in that series. I'm also in the middle of the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. I've only read the first book in that series. I'm also in the middle of Magnolia Parks, but I only have one book left in that series. Six of Crows, so I still have to read Crooked Kingdom. I'm also in the middle of the Kindred's Curse saga. I read the first book, Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4.5. It was so good. So I definitely want to get to that soon. I'm also in the middle of the Vicious series by V.E. Schwab. I think there's only 2 books in that series. The way that the first book ended makes me feel like they're kind of standalones. Not really, but the second book is following like a completely different storyline to the first one. So I don't know how that works, but I'm definitely in the middle of that. Then there are a few other series that I'm like in the middle of, but they're kind of like interconnected series, or maybe just series that I started and I don't plan on finishing. So as for like an interconnected standalone series, I am in the middle of A League of Extraordinary Women. I read the first 2 books in that series, but with that series, like each book follows different characters, a different story. It's not really like I'm in the middle of a series where the story is unfinished, you know? I'm actually technically in the middle of ACOTAR. So I've only read A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin, but I haven't yet read A Court of Frost and Starlight. That's like a novella, so it's like a spin-off. It doesn't have anything really to do with the first 3 books. And then I haven't yet read A Court of Silver Flames. I don't know why I haven't read it. I think I would really enjoy it, but for some reason I just haven't picked it up. I've got no idea why. I'm also in the middle of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, although I don't think I'm gonna read Hellbent. The way that that book kind of ended, I don't know. I just don't think I want to continue that series. And another series which I'm in the middle of, which I just don't plan on continuing, if I'm going to be honest, is the Artlist 6 by Olivia Blake. I just don't think I'm going to continue that series because I actually DNF'd the first one, so I can't really continue it, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's it. There's a few other ones, but like maybe the second book or the third book in the series hasn't come out yet, so I'm not going to count that. So for today, I think I'm going to read, let me show you. These books right here are my remainder for my September TBR. So these 2 books are a part of a series that I am in the middle of. Let me just shift this. So we have Chain of Thorns, which is book 3, the final book in the Last Hour trilogy. She is quite chunky. I think it's like 800 pages, so it's a big book. And then I've also got Glint by Raven Kennedy, which is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series. I really enjoyed the first one. I think I gave it a 4-star. Not my favorite, but I really enjoyed it. I don't want to finish the series, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I just love it that much that when it's over, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Anyways, it's not a Sarah video without me making coffee first and then reading. So let's make some coffee, get caffeinated, and start reading. I don't know which book to start first. I'm not sure. Once I've had coffee, I can make that decision.
Fly me to the moon, me see what spring is like on. In other words,
one thing about me is I love a honey latte. It's like my favorite thing. I had it once in a cafe, and ever since then I was like, that is genius, why don't I do that? And then I started doing it like a year ago, and it's just so good. Just like squeezable honey, or just like any other kind of honey. And I put about like a teaspoon, yeah, like a teaspoon in, and then you just make your coffee and it just tastes delicious. It sort of adds like that kind of like honey, sort of toffee-ish like flavor to the coffee. I really love it. Like I really like it. I wish I had cinnamon. That'd be so good. I would like froth some cinnamon in my milk. Oh my god, that would be so good. Right, next time I go to the supermarket, I will buy some cinnamon because that would be delicious, delectable. Anyways, let's make some coffee. Oh, milk. Okay guys, coffee is made. Oh yeah, so good. Right, I think I'm gonna start off with Chain of Thorns, just because the second book in the series ended on a cliffhanger, and you guys know I love the Last Hour series. If you don't know, it's a spin-off from the Infernal Devices. Unfortunately, you cannot read this series unless you've read the Infernal Devices. You technically can. No, you can't. You really can't, because if you do, you can never read the Infernal Devices, because this series is full of spoilers. Full of spoilers for the Infernal Devices, so please don't read it, but just know that it's amazing. And I love the Infernal Devices. I love the series even more. So I think I will read Glint once I finish Chain of Thorns. I just love this book cover. Like, isn't she just so pretty? I'm not prepared. I'm really not ready for this series to finish. If you've read the series, you just know Cassandra Clare can just write friendship and love and like just romance so well. And it's never cheesy, and it's just always beautiful, and I love it. This series so far is not super heavy on the fantasy. I feel like it's much more heavy on the characters and the dynamics between the characters, and kind of more character focused. The way that she writes her characters will make you care about them so much. Like, I care about these characters more than I've cared about most characters I've like ever read about. So when you really care for the character, the book is just amazing, you know? Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. It's always so hard to start like a big book. Like, it's just so awkward to hold, you know? Hi guys, so reading update. So I'm now up to page 146, which is chapter 8 of Chain of Thorns, and I just know I just know that this series is gonna end in heartbreak. There is just no way that we are gonna get a happy outcome for, I'm not going to say which characters, but there's a couple of characters that I'm like, there's no way it can end well. There's no way. Chapter 7, the one I just finished, was crazy. And I knew it was going to happen, and the whole time it was happening, I was like, this is spoiler free, so I obviously can't say anything, and I feel like if you haven't read the book, whatever I'm saying is just so like ambiguous, like what the hell is she talking about? But if you've read the book, the scene in Paris, in the hotel in Paris, like, why must Cassandra Clare do these love triangles? Why must she do them? Like, I love them, but at the same time, this one for some reason is hurting me a lot more than the one in Infernal Devices. No, actually the one in Infernal Devices also hurt me a lot, but with this one, I can't say anything. I can't say anything, I'm sorry. God, it's so good. It's so good. I'm deeply obsessed. Like, deeply obsessed. I don't want this to end. I'm scared that I'm never gonna love characters like this again. And I know that sounds dramatic, but if you actually think about it, it's been a while since I've loved characters like this. What if I have to wait like a whole nother year until I find characters and a story that I love as much as this one? And I know that's good, because then it makes me appreciate this one and just how much I loved it. But I'm sad. Sorry guys, I'm just having like a little mental breakdown, but I really am feeling the sad emotions. Anyways, I'll read a couple of chapters. The chapters are kind of long. They're like 25 pages each, sometimes longer, so I think I'll read like 2 or 3 chapters, because I think I've just got enough time to do that. Yeah, I have. So let's get to reading. Cooper knows I'm sad. You see how he just ran to me? You know I'm sad. This is just not gonna be a happy ending, is it? There's no way. There is no way. I'm not gonna say who it is in case even like giving the name gives slight spoilers, but there's a character in this book that I adore with my entire heart. Like, I love that man, love him. And I just don't think things are gonna go very well for him. Like Cassandra Clare writing about love in the romantic sense, but also like in the platonic sense, she just does it so well. Right, I'm now on chapter 11, which is page 197. I'm just gonna take a little break because I've got some life admin things I want to do. I think I'm now like a quarter of the way through. Am I? Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I'll do some more reading later, maybe this afternoon. When it's time for my second coffee, my little afternoon pick-me-up coffee, we'll do some more reading. Hello everyone. So I am now up to chapter 18, which is page 323. The last chapter, the four boys in this, they call themselves the Merry Thieves. So it's James, Thomas, Christopher, and Matthew. I love those boys. Like, they are, the friendship. I love it. I really love it. I love how much they all love and respect each other. Like, I've never read about characters like this before. I just love them. Like, I really, really love them. And I can really feel a difference between like them as characters. Like, they're very fleshed out characters. There's a lot of depth to them. Like, they're not surface level people. Oh, I love them. I'm gonna do some reading. I actually just woke up from a nap. I was gone with the wind. On with the wind. So I'm gonna do some reading, then I'll have some dinner. I'm really excited because I feel like drama is about to go down. In this book, there's like this annual Christmas party and it's just about to happen. Hopefully this chapter, maybe the next chapter, it's about to happen. And I just feel like shit's gonna go down. So I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and do some reading.
Come and easy go. You're an unfading star.
I think I've already said it, but in this book, the love triangle is killing me. I just don't know. Like, I'm really saddened by it. I'm happy. Like, I love both characters. And the love triangle, the way that it's done, I'm just like, Chapter 20 is crazy. Crazy. I knew the drama was coming and I knew it was going to be at the Christmas party. It was like being hyped up and discussed a lot. I was like, something is going to go down at this Christmas party. It really hurts when your favorite character is the one that goes through the most. Like, why must it be my favorite character? There's so many characters in this book. Why must my favorite one have to go through all these trials and tribulations? Can't he have happiness? Can't he have joy? Can't he experience love? As much as I love my girl Cassandra Clare, she has some explaining to do. Oh, I'm not gonna say who kissed, but two people just kissed and I'm not gonna say who it is. I wanted that kiss to happen, but I still don't think it's gonna end the way that I want. I'm being very ambiguous because obviously this is spoiler free. Hello besties, so few reading updates. Oh, I love when he does that. There's so many times I will like go to film a video and I'm talking and then like I notice in the little viewpoint here that he's right behind me. Hello. I am now up to chapter 25, which is page 482. So I'm like almost 2/3 of the way through and I'm still really loving it so far, like a lot. I know I've heard some people say that this one is their least favorite. I think so far I'm loving it. The only reason I'm like a little bit sad is I just have a feeling that it's not gonna end in the way that I want. So that's okay, that's just my own fault, to be honest. Anyways, I'm gonna sit down and read a few chapters. Not sure if this is just me, but whenever there's like a battle scene happening, I really struggle to like visualize it. I don't know why. Maybe because I actually hate battle scenes, like even if I'm watching TV or like, I don't know, even movies that I love that have battle scenes, as soon as like the battle starts playing out, I just zone out. Like I just like go blank and I don't know, I just don't like to see battle scenes. I don't always enjoy reading about them. Sometimes I do, but usually battle scenes are like the scenes that I like could care less about. Not to say that this is a bad battle scene or anything like that. It's just always a reminder whenever I'm reading fantasy romance, as soon as like a battle scene starts playing out, I just like, I check out. And then I check back in once the battle or whatever is over. Please let me know I'm not alone in this. I know! He really backed me up. No. Oh no. Oh, I hope that's not true. Something just happened in chapter 26. Hello everyone, please don't mind my wet hair. I just got out of the shower, but I've got a few updates for you guys. So I finished Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is the final book in the Last Hour series. I feel very heartbroken that this series is over. And I know Cassandra Clare has more books, like she's got the Mortal Instruments and the Dark Artifacts, the Dark Artifices, something like that. And look, as excited as I am to read those series, I'm very sad because with the Infernal Devices and the Last Hour series, they're like historical fantasy romance, and if you know me, I just like books set in an older time. Also, the Infernal Devices and the Last Hours take place in London, whereas I think the Mortal Instruments takes place in New York, and the other one, the Dark Artifices, Artifacts, whatever it is, that takes place in Los Angeles and like in modern time. So it's still gonna be good, don't get me wrong, but this just has all the components that I love. It's set in London, it's historical, I love the way they dress, I love the way they communicate. Like it almost has like that sort of more formal way of speaking, like more formal English. And because of that, just the way the characters speak and the passages in here, and I've absolutely loved this series. Loved it, like adored it with my entire heart, and I honestly think I like it more than the Infernal Devices, and I love the Infernal Devices, but this series just has more storylines going in, and there's also more characters, so there's more like relationships and dynamics and friendships, and the characters in this series, my favorite characters, like I love them. I love them so much. I love their dynamics. I love how much they respect each other. And I just love all of their values. They all have such strong values. They're just so amazing. And honestly, they're quite inspiring. Like when I read about them and just the way they handle conflict and the way they handle like sort of just the harder parts of life, I'm just so inspired by them and I adore them. However, this is actually the only book in the Last Hour series that I'm not going to give a 5-star. This one for me, I'm gonna say it's a 4.5. Maybe a 4.75. And the only reason for that is I just didn't get the ending I wanted. And I'm not saying that like, oh, it didn't wrap up the story in the way I want. I just didn't get enough. Like, I feel like the sort of big battle kind of happened towards the end. And then I just wanted more time with the characters after. I wanted to know what was gonna happen to a few of my characters. Like, I just wanted more. And I would honestly happily read a novella from Cassandra Clare following these characters because I just want to see what's gonna happen. Like I just needed a little bit more from that ending. So I'm a little bit sad and disheartened by that, but nonetheless, I still absolutely loved this book and I think it really wrapped up the story beautifully. Again, it's just that I wanted more. I'm both very happy that I finished this series and also incredibly sad because like it's done. That's it. I'm gonna miss these characters and this world so much. So much. Okay, and now we're gonna move on to Glint, which is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. This is like a darker sort of fantasy romance, and it's not dark in the way that it's smutty. It's more dark in terms of like its themes and like certain things that happen in the book. So maybe check trigger warnings. I find books that have like a large font, I don't know if you can really tell, but the words are really big in this book. I just sort of fly through books like that. Enough of me yapping, I'm gonna sit down and do some reading. I'm just sad because I know nothing's gonna hit after reading the Last Hour series, but that's okay. That's okay. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's quite bright. I'm sorry. Coffee is made. I don't know if you can see, but it is steaming. Piping hot coffee. I also just put cinnamon on top, so it's just so comforting. It's like a honey cinnamon latte. Let's talk about Guild. No, not Guild. Glint, which is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series. I think I'm like 20 pages in. Let me just see. It was chapter 4. Yeah, 25 pages in. So I don't really have a huge update for you guys, unfortunately. We will try to do some reading today. I'd like to read like a good chunk of it today. Hopefully I can. If you guys don't know what the series is about, have I already explained it? I'm gonna explain it again in case I haven't. So this series follows Oren, and Oren was essentially like homeless, kind of going through like a rough sort of life, running away, and I think she was involved in like some sort of trafficking. Something sketchy was happening. And when she was 15 years old, King Midas, so if you don't know the sort of King Midas story, is that everything he touches turns to gold. So this is sort of like a King Midas reimagination. So he finds her when she's 15, like going through these really hardships, and he ends up saving her, and he also turns her to gold. So everything about her turns to gold except for like the whites of her eyes and her teeth. She's still like a human though, like she can still move freely, but her skin is like tinted this beautiful gold and her hair is golden. Like she's very gorgeous and gold. And he ends up keeping her as prisoner in his home. So she's like in this giant sort of gilded cage, and she's sort of just there for him to like admire, for people to admire, etc., etc. And she develops like a Stockholm syndrome sort of case for him because he is her captive, like, and he did rescue her technically, but he does keep her locked up. However, she does have like very strong feelings towards him, and she really admires him and she really likes him, etc. And then he ends up using her as a sort of like bargaining between this other kingdom. So from memory, there's like 6 kingdoms. Is it 6 or 7? There's like 6 kingdoms, and he uses her sort of like as a bargaining chip for this other kingdom, being like, if you let me have this, I will let you have her. And then she's sort of like, what the hell? Like, I thought he liked me. Why would he want to give me up? Like, she was so confused and very hurt by it. And then the story kind of goes from there. So that's book 1. Now, obviously, I'm not going to give you any spoilers as to what's happening in this book because you have to read the first book. I'm really excited to get further into this book because I do know that like most people say that book 2 and book 3 is where the story like really kicks off, and book 1 is just sort of like a prologue kind of thing. So I am very enticed and yeah, just intrigued to see what's gonna happen. So we will drink our coffee and do some reading. Hi besties, so update on Glint. I am now 111 pages in, so I'm on chapter 13, and so far things are good. Things are just moving like a little bit slow for me. And do you know what I think is happening, which is something I saw coming, to be quite honest? Not that I'm in a book slump or like in a fantasy book slump because of Chain of Thorns, but I don't know, it's almost like some of the characters, because in Chain of Thorns and the Last Hour series, the characters just all have so much depth to them and so many layers to them, and they're all just amazing characters. And I knew that after that series I was going to be in a bit of like a fantasy book slump just because I knew that no other characters were going to hit for me. I think this is what's happening. I have a feeling that we're going to get some good character development, and I think Oren is going to find out things about herself, and I have a feeling that I know what she's gonna find out. And this kind of goes back to a point I made a while ago about how a lot of fantasy romances I've been reading lately are relatively predictable. And if I am right about what I think she is, then, you know, it was kind of predictable. But hey, that's okay. That's totally cool. As long as the story is enjoyable and the plot is fun, then that's no problem for me. We have met a character, by the way. We actually meet him towards the end of the first book. Cooper, stop it. Sorry, my dog was like eating his foot. Yeah, so we actually met this character towards the end of the first book, and I have a sneaky suspicion that he is going to be someone important. For sure. I wish I could say more. I feel like what I'm saying is so vague, but I just don't want to spoil you guys, you know? And whatever I say is kind of a spoiler. So I'm just trying to give you my thoughts and opinions as much as I can without like giving any spoilers away. It's a lot harder than I thought, to be honest. So kudos to people that do these kind of videos. I've heard that the 3rd book, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd book, is like amazing and it gets really, really good, and that this one is kind of a filler book. I don't know if I'm right. I'm not sure if I'm right. We'll find out. But sometimes that happens in fantasy. Like, you know, there's always one sort of filler book to lead the way to the next book. So we'll see. Hopefully not, because I do want like a fun, fast-paced, action-heavy kind of book. So yeah. Anyways, I will shut up and we will do some reading. Hello everyone, so I just got back from the gym. It is currently 9 p.m. and I still need to shower, wash my face, get ready for work tomorrow, but I thought I would do some reading for like half an hour just before I do that. So update on Glint. I am now on page, what page is this? 179, which is chapter 19, and I am really enjoying it. I am, but I do fear that I'm entering a bit of like a fantasy slump because I just loved the Last Hour series so much, and I just feel like, not that these characters are flat or anything, but just after the characters in the Last Hour series, which I loved so much, these characters just don't have like that depth that I'm craving. Because yeah, so I'm just going through it at the minute. I'm really going through it in terms of I just miss my besties, all my besties in the Last Hour series, but that's okay. That is okay. I really can't like tell you guys anything about what's happening because it would spoil the first book, but just know that I'm enjoying it. It's a good time. It is, can I say, you know what, I can't tell. No, I really can't tell you anything. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's a good time and I definitely recommend the series. It's definitely fun and I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen between her and a certain someone. Something exciting just happened. Very exciting on page 245. And I knew that it was coming, but nonetheless, it was still super exciting when it happened. So that was good. That was good. I'm like just over halfway through now. And yeah, it's getting good and it's definitely picking up and I'm super intrigued to see where it's gonna go. So definitely had like a bit of a slow start, but now it's like getting into the story and getting into like the next sort of part of where the series is gonna go. And I'm really looking forward to continuing it because now I can see where it's heading. Anyways, I'm gonna go have a shower and get ready, tuck myself in bed, do some more reading, and I'll update you guys tomorrow. Hello everyone, so a few reading updates. I am now on page, where am I? 345 of Glint, and I just feel like we've been in the same place for so long. Like this is definitely a filler book, and I know that it happens in fantasy. I fully understand it. Sometimes you need a filler book. Cooper, what are you doing? So it's fine. It's just like I need some action to happen. I need action. I just need things to start moving at a quicker pace, to be quite honest. I'm hoping the end of the book picks up. I really pray. I just went and got myself a dirty chai latte. This is my current drink obsession at the minute. If you don't know what it is, it's just a chai latte, but it's got 1 shot of espresso, so it just adds that caffeine in there, but it's so cinnamony and like nutmeggy, and just love the smell of it. I'm definitely obsessed with this drink. And do you know what's really nice is right now it's spring for me in New Zealand, by the way, if you don't know, but my favorite season is autumn. But we've had very gloomy, windy weather. Like we don't really have nice springs, at least where I live in New Zealand. So I'm not really complaining, to be quite honest, because I like the more cozy weather. So I'm happy that I can still wear my cozy jumpers and drink my hot beverages. Like it makes me really happy. Anyways, I'm gonna drink my dirty chai latte and do some reading. Please pick up. Please get better. I really need it to. Hi besties, me again. So I finished Glint. I actually ended up finishing it on audiobook just because I had a lot of like cleaning little tasks I wanted to do around the house and I just wanted to finish this book. I wanted to finish it, so I listened to the last like 80 sort of pages on audiobook, And I like the way that it ended, and I'm very excited to get into the third book based off the ending. Finally, like, some action happened. This book just lacked some plot for me. It was just like, I don't know, we were in the same place, like in the same setting, I felt like, for ages, and that makes me a little bit like irritated when I'm reading a book, because I'm just like, we need to move settings, we need to change direction, something needs to happen. So I think I'm gonna give this book a 3.25. It just didn't really hold my attention too well, and I really do think that it is a filler book. And I think that the third book, is it Gleam? I'm so sorry, by the way, if you can hear that. I've got my balcony door open. I live in the CBD, so it's just a little bit loud if I open up the balcony door, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, I think the third book is going to be good, and I'm really excited to see where the story is going to go. I have heard that book 3 onwards gets amazing, so I'm really hoping that's going to be true. And it's almost like the first book is sort of like a prologue, and the second book is a filler, and then it gets amazing. I wish it wasn't like that, just because I don't like having to work so hard just to enjoy a series. No, I'm not working hard. That sounds so dramatic. Like, shut up, Sarah. That's not what I mean. I just mean, like, when they make you wait for quite a long time for it to be good again. It happened in the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. So Powerless was really good, and then Reckless, the second book in that series, was like a filler book, so it just like lacked the plot. And then I think book 3 is going to be really good. So I know that it happens in fantasy, but I just hate when there's like a filler book. I'd rather we just have less books in the series. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so unnecessary. But anyways, no, I do understand why this book needed to happen. It's gonna set up the third book really well, and then, you know, set the series up, so I get it. I just wish it wasn't so lacking in the plot, but that's okay. That is okay. So yeah, 3.25, and beautiful Chain of Thorns, it is a 4.5 to a 4.75, but I think, yeah, it's a 4.5. Absolutely loved it. I miss it so much. Mwah. I miss it. I'm definitely going to continue this series, this finishing series I'm in the middle of series. It's also just nice because it holds me accountable to finish the series that I've started, and I really love series. It's really fun, but whenever I'm in the middle of a series, I'm always so enticed to start a new series. It is my problem. I can't help it. It's just so fun, especially fantasy romance series. And then I just know that I'm gonna be like piling on all these series, and I just don't want to overwhelm my brain, but I can't help it. It's just so fun. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.